Hi there, my name is Shepherd Siegel. Started out as a child and then eventually had a pretty long career in education and research. Also was hiding out in a rock and roll band for a while. Now I'm an author. This is my brand new book. It's called Tricking Power into Performing Acts of Love. How tricksters through history have changed the world. My inspiration for writing this book really started a long time ago. Like many of us, I want to make the world a better place. And so I've been very politically involved for much of my life, and specifically involved in anti-war activities. To put it simply, there's too much power in the world and there's not enough love, and yet we have to face the things that make it difficult, that squeeze out the room that might be occupied by love. And so my epiphany was to see how the trickster archetype manifests in the world, that if you have a personality type and a character who's all about mocking power and using humor to lighten things up in the world, but at the same time not ignore the things that are wrong with it, to me that seemed like really the best way to go. So that inspiration came at a very, very early age when I was growing up in a place called the Bay Area of San Francisco, where utopian ideas were allowed to emerge and come out, and that inspired me at a very young age as a teenager. I went on to my career in education, but eventually got around to writing the book that came out of that inspiration. I've written 2 books on this topic. The first one's called Disruptive Play, the new one, Tricking Power. And so I did graduate work at Berkeley, where I got my doctorate and did studies in anthropology and education and special education and vocational education. And it was there that I acquired my research skills. So I was able to put those skills into use to approach this other idea. So, my research process and, the internet, as long as you use reliable sources, the internet is an incredible tool, and I use libraries and I read a lot of books, and I get to order. You can order books online when you want to be able to mark it up and so forth. So I just do a lot of reading and taking notes, and my process, it's kind of like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. You have an idea and you see if the pieces fit, and if they don't fit, instead of trying to force the pieces to fit the ideas that you had, when the pieces don't fit, you have to get inspired to have new ideas that accommodate the reality and the facts that you might uncover through your research. There were examples of this, especially when I wrote the second book and I started looking into the female trickster, and that really turned my head around, and I had to really revise some of my ideas of what the trickster is really like and how we flesh out that archetype, and what can the trickster personality contribute to society. Investigating the female trickster expanded my ideas of how trickster can help make this place a better world. I see myself less as an author who writes about what the trickster does in society, and more as an activist, enlightened and inspired by the trickster, who finally got around to writing down what I learned from my own experience, and then made that more substantial and richer through the research I did into other trickster characters, from Eshualegba in West Africa to Wakchankaga from the Winnebago tribe, to the Raven up here in the Pacific Northwest, where I live. There's the Huli Jing from China. There is a trickster character or demigod in virtually every culture on the planet. So I loved learning about that and writing about it. And when you want to talk about the writing process itself, I confess to really loving the English language, and that we have so many words that can differ in just the very slightest shades of meaning. So finding just the right word that really goes into a sentence that says as precisely as possible what I want to say, that's something that I really love about writing, despite what Marcel Duchamp said, which is once we start using words, it kind of all goes to hell, and that words generally fail. But and then in the words of Samuel Beckett, well, at least I can try to fail better. A piece of advice that I would give to other folks who want to write a book, besides doing a lot of reading so you get familiar with what good writing looks like, is to just write. Make sure that writer's block is not a very big part of your life. And no matter how sloppy or incomplete or you don't feel ready for it, get that first draft down. And I have found that once I have something on paper, then I've got something I can start working with. I can edit it. I can change it radically. I can end up deleting a lot of it, but that gets the process going. So never hesitate. Perfectionism comes in at the end of the writing process, not the beginning. The beginning is almost the opposite of perfectionism. Just write, and then write, and then edit. Nothing wrong with multiple drafts, but there's a lot wrong with not getting a first draft down there. You know, you can buy my book. I'll show you the cover again. Here it is, Tricking Power into Performing Acts of Love. And you can buy it wherever books are sold online. I like to support independent bookstores, so if there's one near where you live, if they don't have it on their shelves, they can order it. But if you want to order it online from some of those big companies or even smaller ones, you know, you can find it wherever books are sold.